How are you, brother?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Excellent. Welcome to today's video. I'm Dominic Schlueter. If you're new here, I'm the founder and CEO of The Running Effect, the fastest growing running media brand in the world. We have a podcast, social media, event marketing, all sorts of different things, and we're gonna be documenting it all on this YouTube channel. If you enjoy the podcast or you literally have never seen my face before, welcome. Today's video is a banger. We are going to be documenting my life as a 21-year-old entrepreneur who I would like to think is somewhat successful. But yeah, today we're gonna be doing an in-person podcast with Josh Blatchford. Incredible story. He's also a friend. I serve on the advisory board of his company called Attune. We'll cut to some clips of the podcast probably in this video. His company is ridiculous. It's an honor and a privilege to serve on that company. What else we got cooking? I might take Aiden out to lunch or cook him up something. Chef Dom could be in play on today's video. And then I'm gonna go to my sauna club. So I work out 5 days a week, run a couple days a week, but Wednesday today is always like my dedicated rest and recovery day. Occasionally I'll go for a run or a jog, but nothing too crazy. But I will always hit up the sauna cold plunge combo. It's hard to beat. I absolutely love it. And then we'll also document other work things, conversations, emails going down, posts going out, just sort of give you perspective into what it's like to live as a full-time entrepreneur as a 21-year-old. I turned 21 last week, so I'm a baby. It's weird. It's hard to say that I'm 21. I still feel like I'm 20, at least verbally. So 21-year-old entrepreneur, welcome to a day in my life. You might miss some points, but we're gonna try to document as much as we can, and I appreciate you guys following around. We're locked in.
Yep.
I'm trying to lock down a massive retainer, okay? I wanna launch like a consulting company at the end of the year. So basically, I've helped people pro bono. Like, I know of dozens of podcasts that were started just because people said like, hey, how do I start a podcast? Or should I? Or I have this idea. And it kind of got to the point where you can only say yes to so many stuff without, killing your bandwidth in other areas. So I was like, I should be charging for a lot of these calls. Like there were times my brother's bosses at like old financial management firms were like asking me for advice in marketing meetings. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure they have money to pay me. So I wanted to formalize a company. So at the end of the year, I'm gonna launch sort of like a consulting company / agency. Because on the other end, I work with a ton of graphic designers, editors, short form editors. And I'm like, look, we live in the content digital age. I know there are a ton of people who like need a podcast editor or need a short form editor or need graphics made, like in nearly any profession. So combining those two worlds, like consulting as well as like agency side into one company, was gonna launch it towards the end of this year. And then a friend who I won't name, we can blur out his account on screen to tease you guys. He's got like over 1 million followers on social media. And I made a sick edit for myself personally, so I sent it to him and I just jokingly said, I was like, hey, let me know when you want to 10x your socials, like I'm ready basically. And I can throw up the text on screen, and he was like, oh, perfect timing. Like my old guy just left, would love to have a conversation essentially. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe I start the consulting company agency a couple months earlier, launch it with a massive client, get a fat retainer. Who knows? We'll see. So the last 2 weeks I've been making test videos for him with my team and hoping to close him, but we'll see. It's a toss-up, 50-50. I'm doing the 6-7 there, but 50-50, and hope we can close him. If not, on to bigger and better things. Keep the timeline, launch it later this year, but if I close him, it might bring up the timeline and I can launch that company earlier. And my goal with any company I create is to basically build it to the point where I then hire people to kind of run it for me, and I'm just like CEO, chairman, checking in, setting vision, direction, but I ultimately have other people running it, because Running Effect, top priority, top focus, top interest, but I do want to scale and create other companies in the process and hopefully find the right people to run those for me. So that's what Aiden caught me doing. I was scheming over email. He said, thanks, we'll review and circle back. That to me sounds like 50-50. So I'm gonna say, awesome. Let me know if you have any questions, and throw up a prayer, we can close them. I asked for $10,000 a month, which would be crazy, dude. So I think I could pay Omar, my video editor, like $2,500 a month. I'm hesitant to say this, maybe we won't keep this in the video, but like just other countries, they don't charge as much as people from the US. He's from Italy. So like I just feel like Americans are so, not selfish, but like they always want more and they think they're worth more. So Omar's my dog. He's been making edits for me on Instagram for like years and years and years. So anyways, I think I could profit like $7,500 to $7,000 and for like a starter client, and then to use him as proof of concept to like, I don't know, launch other people would be crazy. But I'm also like, I've been in business long enough to know that you can't get excited about a deal until pen hits paper, is what I say. So I'm like, I try to keep my emotions reserved. Even with this specific thing, dude, I literally was telling my girlfriend Emma, like literally edging her for a week. I was like, pray for a big work intention. I was like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm too excited about it going through and I feel like it's going to fall. And then I like eventually got to the point where I told her, and now I'm like, I shouldn't have told her. Like, I don't know if it's going to go through. So it's so tough. You want to be excited for yourself and be hopeful, but I'm sure it's something a lot of you guys can relate to. Like, you want to be excited and hopeful about big opportunities in your life and think that they'll go through, but you never really know until you know. So the worst advice ever came from Peter Parker. What did he say? You watch Spider-Man?
With great power.
No, that one's a banger. No, he's like, expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed. That's a stupid take on life.
Oh, that's MJ's take.
That's a terrible take, MJ. That's a terrible take. It's like, why wouldn't you live with optimism and think like, what's the best case scenario that could happen here? I try to live with that, but then I try to not share that with other people. It's like with my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But for me personally, I'm like, I think this can happen. What if it happens? What doors would that unlock? And then if it doesn't go through, as they say, one of the best quotes in life, rejection is just a redirection. So it's like, okay, God, maybe this wasn't the time to launch this company. Divine timing, maybe it'll make more sense in 5 months. Great. So we'll see. But would love to land this client. And yeah, I mean, some of the edits we make now are pretty crispy. Did I send you the Luke one we made of Luke Hopkins? Throw that up on screen. Here, I'll show you. Okay, awesome. Let me send this email real fast. Awesome. Let me know if you have any questions that pop up or need another call. Very best. What's your preferred closing email signature? Mine is very best, comma, Dominic. I used to be an all the best kind of guy, but now I'm very best. I took it up a notch.
Or we can just say thanks.
Really, thanks, comma, yeah.
Leasing today.
Yeah. Let's see. I bet it's going to be fire.
This happened to me. It happened for you.
So good.
It happened for you. If there is such a thing as a non-classified cancer for the mind and body, it's victimhood. It just does nothing for you.
It's nasty,
It
bro.
does nothing for you.
So every day on my Instagram, I post one reel from the podcast, and generally the general workflow is I work a lot on Slack, and I basically have this AI prompt that I run each podcast through that kind of ranks clip candidates. And then from there, I'll like tweak it myself, and I'll send like the direct timestamp to Omar with the background song, maybe some ideas, and then he'll send it to me like the next morning. So every single morning generally is like opening up Christmas presents to see what creation we made. And occasionally, like the one you just saw, we cook a little bit more, and those I'm always a little more excited for. So I'm just going to check that he did the direct timestamps I needed. Do you guys still have yet to see Interstellar? I was going to do this for a background song, potentially. You saw Interstellar, right?
Yes,
I still need to see it. I still need to see it. I'm not just saying this to appease the girls in the comment section. I've been in the movies in like forever, so I wanted to go with my girlfriend because we had never like gone to the movies with each other, which is crazy. We've been dating for a year and a half now, and she lives right by like the nice theater in Dublin. There's no good movies in theater right now, so like the best one was Devil Wears Prada 2.
Oh.
Not a bad movie. Was actually kind of entertaining, okay? The guys don't hate on me, okay? But it was entertaining. Honestly, just the experience of going to a theater, kind of fire. And the other thing, key tip for life or watching movies, same lesson applies. Like, expectation dictates everything. So like I went in thinking that it'd be a really crappy movie, and so even though it probably wasn't that good of a movie, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Just because my expectation was like, I'm gonna fall asleep or be bored. What's really tough is when you have super high expectations, someone hypes something up, the expectation's so high it can almost ruin it. But the best things in life, your expectations are like super high. Anyone can hype it up and it'll still deliver. One of those things for me is my Sonic Club. So Aiden's gonna have his mind blown. Best thing in the world, and you're gonna think it's the best thing in the world.
It ruins you. It rots you from inside out. And I know this because I have sometimes in my life been a little ruins you. It rots you from inside out.
I'm curious to watch it on Instagram because he clearly loops it at the end. Like, it looks a weird ending on my phone, but actually that guy wrote me this letter that sits proudly on my desk.
Oh, wow.
Before I ever met him. And he had the balls to tell me he didn't think he had good handwriting. Isn't that crazy? It's like the nicest handwriting I've ever seen. Yeah, my brother gave that to me as a Christmas gift. I just DM'd him. I said, brother, let me know when you're ready. Here we go. I'm ready. He gave it to me as a Christmas gift. What's funny is the podcast only used to be on YouTube. So you'll notice like the dimensions for a YouTube thumbnail is radically different than like the Spotify square that it used to be. And so it literally is like cut because of that. But that's the date when it was uploaded to Spotify, even though it really came out July 17, 2020. And then 2/28 is the timestamp that I asked the first ever question I ever did on The Running Effect. So actually a pretty cool gift, like super thoughtful, which I think is cool. No, I post every night at 6 p.m. You can like go in there and see when most people are active.
Yeah.
This happened.
I posted a highly controversial podcast yesterday with Riley Witt. He said, and I quote, 60% of the population could break 4 in the mile. And he also said that if you're not willing to spend $2,000, you're not that serious. Which I would mostly disagree with, but I understand the premise. He's basically like, you need to spend money to get good at the sport. Which, super shoes being $300 a piece now, I don't know. I think it's possible to get really good with no money. Like, I didn't have any money in high school. Like, I bought all my own shoes, but I never made it, so maybe I'm proof that he's right there.
So,
Brother, what?
He's the goat.
What is this, man? What is this? This is insane. That is absolutely insane, man. The Running Effect stepping up the game once again, elevating the level. My God, incredible, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you. Incredible. Tell me when you're posting it. I can't wait.
He's a legend. Absolute legend. APL. Throw up his profile on Instagram. He's just such a good speaker. I just got a text from social media man from Fleet Feet. Want to give me a call this morning. More stuff for the vlog. This is my life, dude. There are some days where I get a ton of texts and emails and I'm like, oh, I wish Aiden was here. Because it's just like nonstop. Max is the GOAT.
oh, that's not focusing. All right, there we go.
Max, the
Hey.
man. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Excellent. Did you successfully take down some turkeys last week?
My dad and I both got one, yeah.
Good.
So we got 3 of the 4 species in the country, and we need the last one in Florida for the Grand Slam.
Dang.
So it's gonna be-
I didn't even know that's a thing. Hit me with updates or whatever you
Yeah.
need to discuss. Is this thing on? You ready? Door's locked. We'll go out the other way. That I might need. Move the old Batmobile. I named it the Batmobile because it's all black. I'm gonna go on my Tesla app. We're gonna go to. I like never do that, but it's kind of cool.
Can you tell it when to stop or does it?
Yeah. Living a life. It definitely takes extra time, but to impress you guys, I'll pull my car out with a remote control phone. Isn't that cool?
Gotta get the self-driving.
I know. Chomps, if you're watching this, please sponsor me. Not sponsored. 10 grams of protein, 0 calorie, high quality beef. There's a monopoly on it. I was playing hoops last night, and you know this because you live here, but it was like absolutely pouring when I got out of the gym, and so I was telling you this also 5 minutes ago. I'm so type A, and so my whole car got wet, and I was not happy on the way home. I was just like sitting in disbelief. Like that did not just happen. Were you outside when it was pouring rain?
No, I got stuck.
Oh, it was literally so bad that like you just opened your car door and the whole thing got wet. So I take great care of my son, my Tesla.
That was cool.
He wasn't very happy with the rain. Most times when I drive, I literally put it into FSD and just work on my computer.
Really?
Yeah. And I think some people, like boomers, don't know that Teslas are like that, or you can make your Tesla like that. And so it actually happens pretty often that people will look and see I'm like on my phone and get like pissed at me. And I'm like, I get it. I do get it. But like, you don't understand. Like, I'm not driving, so. So the podcast I'm going to, I've needed to schedule for forever. Finally got on the books. Really excited. Josh is a close friend. My sister had autoimmune disease issues for like 10 plus years, saw dozens of doctors, no help, like no real massive difference. With one test of an attuned health scan, they found out what she had, and she's basically completely healed a year later. So they have like an endurance version for it that like helps runners, breaks down a ton of different information. But it's like next level science, seems out of a fiction book. It's ridiculous what the tests do. So we're interviewing Josh Blatchford, founder of Attuned, today on the podcast. And he's like the nicest guy ever. You'll love him, like nicest guy ever.
Dude, that is crazy. That's like, they should be marketing that. That's
Well, they're
so
just
lame.
launching.
Oh.
Well, dude, my sister's like one of 100 people like that. I'm telling you, it's cracked. It sounds fake.
That's insane.
It's a bioenergetic scan, so it's hair and saliva. And they just, I guess it's with AI or different inputs, they just like break down the information of bioenergetics at such a deep level that it can give your body a lot of understanding of what's going on at the root level. But I don't fully understand it to the extent that Josh would, hence why we're talking to him on the pod today. So, but I'm on their advisory board now, so pretty excited about that.
That's sick.
I left my Whoop behind at the gym last night, so it freed up some wrist space. This is a pretty good tan for it only being May.
Could you take me through like how you prepare for a podcast like before?
So Matt on my team, he like writes all my show notes and guest research. I'll show you actually. Go to my docs. So all the like guests that are about to be on, I'll hit Josh, and it's like who is, what it actually does, key topics to cover, suggested questions. So sometimes I look at that, not all the time, but I try to go into most conversations like completely free of mind, acting as an audience member, which is they generally have no clue who the person that they're about to listen to is. And so I try to ask questions that like the average audience person would ask. So I try to follow my curiosity is what I'm trying to say. I ask questions that I'm interested in, and I assume that if I'm interested in these questions, other people will be interested. I rarely do any prep or real prep, and I don't prepare any questions. Normally I prepare the first question. Like I was thinking last night before bed, I was like, the company's called Attuned. I was like, I feel like if a good first question could be like, why is it important to be attuned? You know, they like kind of a play on words, but then from there it's just free flowing conversation. So, and I've actually never, my 2 years of living in Columbus, as I continue to struggle to put this on, my 2 years living in Columbus, I've never done an in-person podcast. So this is the first one. So I rented this space online. I found it. So hopefully it's good, but I do miss my nice fancy Austin studio I used to use occasionally. Sound off in the comments. Is Drake's album good or trash? I think he's like 1 for 43. There's only one good song on there. I was hyped when you put this in the shoe video.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the city though. Yeah. I gotta light the tower up for this. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I would've gotten you.
Out in the six, I'm a
Well, dude, I mean, when you tell people the client stories, it's like super hard to believe. You can ask this guy. How's your morning? Yeah, pretty good. Decently. Had an impromptu call with Fleet Feet talking about the cross country championships. How's your day going so far? Cool.
Got 3 camera setup. We've got the wide shot here.
Might just go take me a walk by the sea. They diss on a boy till they blew in the face. I put all the faces that's blue in the safe. Really can't find me the words. You just birds. I wish that I knew what to say. Movie a block. I don't see a face. Your first time.
Yeah, that's the half zip.
What is this material?
That's what it's. That's what I said. That's why the sample's so expensive.
You
'cause
couldn't-
It's like so nice.
Yeah, dude. Dude, this material is wild.
Insane.
And it's like just perfectly see-through.
And then,
This patch is great.
yeah, you might see the nips if you wear it without a shirt, but still, if you're a guy, I don't really care. Then up here, it's so nice.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you scan that, it'll
Yeah,
take you to our website, model, creation date, X of 50.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, this looks
New
great.
company coming soon. Josh Blatchford approved.
Yeah, buddy. I mean,
Okay, ready for
fresh.
this? Bottom, logo, turn your what ifs into realities. And then it's cool too, because the bottom, you like the cut, how the bottom goes
Yeah,
just
is it
slightly
longer? Yeah, I like that.
Isn't that sick?
This material is wild. Like, you're gonna have to. This feels so much better in. Well, obviously, like in person, you can kind of like understand what the material is.
Do you see what-
I've
it's
never
silk.
seen a material.
It feels like
this.
silk.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the guy who's helping me, or the guy who works at Sound, he literally was at the factory, saw
Yeah.
that piece, and was like, oh, can we make these? Okay, today's guest, talked about him in the car or whatever we chose to include in the video. Josh Blatchford. Explain in 30 seconds what you do.
We own a bioenergetic company. Bioenergetics is we take hair and saliva samples, and we introduce what's called energetic signatures conductively to those signatures. So think of it as like a smart scale. Smart scale, you have conductivity go through one side, it's received on the other. We're doing the exact same thing with your hair and saliva samples, and we're seeing things that no other test in the endurance space. Could you say that?
100%.
There is no other test in the endurance space that's like this.
Josh told me I was tired, and that's what he told me. That's what his test.
We've been able to see like things like Achilles tendonitis before it happens. We've seen stress fractures before it happens. We've even seen UTIs before it happens.
That's
So
insane.
wild.
Off of the company, Josh, absolute business mongol. I feel like I learn something new from him every time I hang with him. Josh, what would you say top 3 tips for like aspiring entrepreneurs, specifically younger?
Man, patience is key. Things that are worth it take time. Don't expect it to happen overnight. I think the best entrepreneurs are willing to stay dedicated, pursue things, and fail a ton. If you haven't failed yet, you're not going to succeed yet. So you have to go out with a mentality knowing that failing is part of the growth, and almost enjoy the failure because you learn so much from it.
Yeah, I always say like there's no such thing as failure, only lessons.
Yeah.
I'm getting the brain flowing for you.
Okay.
Prepping you. If you could go back to your 21-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Yeah, well, at 21, I was building an app. We were working with some of the biggest names in the music industry. And then right before my wedding, literally the entire thing collapsed. And so
You got married that young?
I got married at 24, so it was like
Wow.
around that
Yeah.
time. So I was building it for like 3 years. And what happened was I put all of my identity into that build. And as soon as it failed, I had nowhere else to go. And so if I could like go back to that age, I think I would look at it with less identity and more like what is going to be prosperous in the moment for me to learn. Because oftentimes you're not going to have huge success at that age. You're building the blocks to get there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, final question for you for the vlog. Because I feel like something that a lot of YouTube channels do is they only show the good parts.
Yeah.
So for a successful entrepreneur like yourself, what is one thing you aren't currently doing that you know you should be doing in life?
Oh. I mean, this is probably super specific because of how sick I was. So when I was chronically ill, like I couldn't even get out of bed. And I think coming out of that and fully healing, I think I'm really protective over my energy. And so I think I could be pushing a little bit more right now, but there's like that issue of me pushing too hard and being scared that I'm going to get sick again. I don't think I'll ever get sick again, especially as sick as I was, but it's in the back of my mind all the time. So I think things are taking slightly longer because I'm conserving.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Podcast may or may not be out by then, but subscribe wherever you listen to hear this man.
Let's go. The best podcast in the game.
Because of him. Today it becomes the best podcast.
Today is now the best podcast in the game.
Okay, should we start?
Don't stick around in the 6. Yeah.
Okay, Josh, post-podcast recap, how'd it go?
Man, that
Honest
was a
review.
blast. I mean, it is the best podcast in the game, but
We try.
It was fun.
Stay tuned wherever you listen to podcasts, The Running Effect, and we'll throw up his socials on screen. And attuned, give it a follow, check him out, and on to the sauna. Ready?
I think I like when it rains. You told me to go to the light.
So I was talking to Josh in the studio about this. I'm not sure how much of it we included, but this is a half zip from a future drop of a company coming out very soon called Luminary Threads. And the purpose of this company, breaking down the name like Luminary and Threads. Threads is threads of a clothing, or like sort of like Instagram's X, like threads, i.e. statements. And then Luminary is a person who inspires or influences. So you combine the two, Luminary Threads. The goal is to come out with a new piece every single month with a short statement or saying that either inspires, encourages, enlightens, challenges. And the other core piece of the company is thinking about, hey, we pass like 1,000 people every single day. Obviously it fluctuates a little bit depending on your state in life, but we pass minimally hundreds of people a day. Outside of talking to them, outside of facial expression, what is the easiest way in which you can impact them? Well, through your clothing, through what you wear. So my thought was, how can I create a clothing company that has impact, and that if someone saw your clothing on the street, they could read it and be inspired or challenged in some way. So short sayings or statements, if you followed me on Instagram for a long enough period of time, like I post quotes on my story all the time. Quotes have changed my life, impacted my life for the better. Literally, my phone screen is, it is only delusion until it works out. Something like that on the back of a shirt where you pass a stranger on the street, they think about that, it challenges them, it inspires them in some way, and then they take that action with them and take it into their everyday life. I thought for the longest time, like, oh, I could just start a merch company with just my logo on it, like The Running Effect. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to build like sister and brother companies to The Running Effect that encapsulate the core mottos of it without being like The Running Effect itself. So Luminary Threads is kind of the merch offshoot of what The Running Effect ultimately is. And I cannot wait. Here's our logo. The goal is to move the 1,000 people you pass or walk across the street every single day through the pieces you wear. Hopefully you can inspire, influence, or challenge them in some way. Company probably won't have launched by this point when this video is coming out, but it literally will be very, very soon that I'll release and launch. And I'll document everything on this channel, how much money we make from it, the drops, the design, the creation, all of that. This has been like 3 years of dreaming and like sampling and everything in the works, so I'm thrilled. Nearly cried when I got finalized samples on Saturday. I was like, this feels fake, how is this happening? But I can't wait. So we are on Instagram at the moment at Luminary Threads Merch. We'll throw it up on the screen. Give us a follow to stay up to date on everything, but I cannot wait to proudly rep something I'm really proud of and have poured 3 years of time, money, and energy into. And there's a guy with his semi working. Yeah, I'm stoked about this company, stoked to see the impact it makes, and stoked to see you guys rep Luminary Threads in person. Aiden can speak to this. Quality's out the wazoo good. Like, it is so good. So I'm really proud of it, and I wasn't gonna release a merch company until I was proud enough of the pieces that I would wear the things regardless of if it had my logo on it or not. So this will replace any Nike, Lululemon, Aloe half zip I would ever wear. It is literally comfortable than anything I've ever worn, and I'm thrilled about that. So more another time on Luminate Threads, but new company dropping. New company dropping in the chat. Sure, and I'm sure I would say that with the running effect. But like my apparel pieces die without me. I could go and find someone else, but dude, then that just resets the clock. I'd rather, because think about this, like, if I start paying him out of my pocket, I just continue to go into debt and fund it with, sure, money I made elsewhere, but versus he's only gonna make money if I make money. Rate it, how's it look? Just made it a quick little lunch before the sauna. Always rushing, something I could definitely improve on, but behind camera guy over here. Supplements. For whatever reason, my stomach's kind of upset in the morning, so I generally take after lunch. So current supplement stack, Tongkat Ali, naturally boosts testosterone. Love it. And then Strong Joints from BPN, another good supplement. I normally take a vitamin C supplement, but I'm currently out, unfortunately. Sometimes I take magnesium before sleep. Zinc's a good one to take. Strong multivitamin. When you work with a supplement company, you get them all. But generally, Tongkat Ali and vitamin C are like the truth. So that's the supplement stack. Time for the sauna. We are on the way to the sauna. Gonna be a fun time. Decompress a little bit. Honest reflection on my life. One of the ways that I could definitely grow is I'm always rushing from thing to thing to thing. So like, would finish, rush to get home, rush to make lunch, rush to eat lunch, rush to get to the sauna, and still show up a little bit late. So, and then I'm sure we'll get out of the sauna, rush to get on a podcast, or get stuff done before a podcast, or before I get to the sauna, rush to like reply to an email or whatever. So that's definitely one way I really want to grow and improve this year, is like, take a breath and slow down. It's just hard when you're trying to do a lot of things really, really well. And I'm trying to do a lot of things really, really well. So I'm busy, and a natural byproduct of that is sometimes not always feeling the most peaceful. So trying to work on that, but at least when we get in the sauna, I know I'll be peaceful. So.
Kick it, Will.
So when I go to the sauna, I do 20 minutes in the sauna at 175, and then like 2 minutes in the cold plunge. I think it's like 40, 45, maybe 50 degrees. I have no clue what it is. And then they have a vitamin C shower. Company called Sweat House. Cannot recommend it enough. I've been coming here, coming up on 2 years now. So I'm a believer. I don't get paid. I don't have any sort of deal with them, but I absolutely love it. Totally resets the brain. I was talking about in the car how I like never slow down, and I feel like the sauna is the 1 hour a day when I do come, and I'll come every day, probably 2 or 3 times a week, that I don't look at my phone, completely reset the mind, completely reset the body. It's freezing though. It tests every part I feel. It's like so cold. It makes you stronger mentally though. Then you gotta do the dunk. So cold. Just got back from the sauna. It is 4:34 p.m. I have a podcast at 5 p.m. Rare little evening podcast. Second podcast of the day. Might go for a run or something after that. Eat dinner. Chill a little bit. Catch up on emails. Business strategy. All the things that I missed today as I was running from thing to thing. I appreciate you guys watching today. It was probably 70% of a glimpse into my day. I just walked you through the rest of the things I'd be doing the rest of the day. One of these days we'll capture morning to evening, but today was plenty. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. We are trying to pump out consistent quality content and videos that document my life and hopefully provide you guys some knowledge, inspiration, guidance, impact in the process. If you want to see a specific kind of video or different video, or you have a question or a concern, throw it down in the comments below. I'll make sure to get to it and respond to it and take your feedback into account. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Keep turning your what ifs into realities, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.